Okay, the date is January 22nd, 2018. The time is 6 o'clock, and I'd like to bring to order the meeting of the Douglas Board of Health. First item on the agenda is for reviews. I know Matt wanted us, town administrator wanted us to do reviews in a department.
Right. I didn't know they were even out yet until I get a...
Yeah.
There's nothing out.
There's nothing out.
Yeah.
I know he wanted...
They should be...
He wanted us-
As soon as you get them, you should
There's
let me
nothing
know.
out. They just
Or
want
else-
a paragraph written. There's nothing to go
No
by.
formal?
There's no form.
Something very informal,
Yeah.
I guess he was saying. Very informal, just something by the end of the month, just
Well,
very basic.
As a board, what we normally would do is, I or somebody would do initial if you worked with the people and you know about it. Then you would come in front of the board, and it would be discussed. When it came to Kristen, she would leave, if she was in at that time, she would leave the room. We'd shut the door, and then it would be discussed and talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, you would bring them in and go over what was accepted by the board.
That's how we've done it in the past.
That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's trying to do a whole new,
he's trying to do something a little
Yeah.
different. I guess he's trying to do that throughout the whole
yep,
building.
everybody.
All the departments, I guess he wants to handle it a little differently.
Well, which is fine. The only thing is,
But
though,
it's
it's the
more-
board is the
Final say. I mean,
final say of
yeah,
what
if we want to do
each
things
individual
differently,
is.
but correct.
You know,
Running our own employees, but it sounds like if we want to do something more, it sounds like he just wants very basic, just
Well,
you
still,
know,
the board
something
should be-
about how each employee might think of their position, how they might want to improve themselves over the next year.
Well, that
kind
is what
of.
you would ask.
So in other words, he wants goal setting.
Wants goal
Yeah,
setting,
I
go
guess.
over their
And then-
job description with them, and then just write like a paragraph.
Okay, so
There's nothing-
you have to do like a self-evaluation? Is that it?
The person?
You,
Yeah.
the
No.
person?
Nope,
No?
they just want someone to sit down, very, very informal.
So you have to do your own goal setting?
You just have a discussion and say, what do you think you could do to improve the job? You
So
just
if I
write it all
block
down.
off like 2 hours on a Thursday evening, can we schedule everybody to come in for 15-minute intervals and talk to me for 15 minutes, and I'll just sit through 15 minutes, 2 hours. I could bang out 8 reviews, write a short
That's
paragraph,
funny.
and
That's funny. Why even
Well,
do it?
I know it.
I mean,
You want-
15-minute
The
conversation.
only thing
with
is, you
10-minute
want the board. It
conversation.
still should come in front of the board, and the board has what should be stated,
Yeah.
not just what your, mine, Steve's. or
So when I
anything.
had my review, it was just you.
No, then you went in front of, I don't think I ever did a review on you.
Yeah,
I never went
I
for
met
the
with
board either.
I met with you once and you gave me a review and you said some stuff to me, and then I came in front of the board and you went
Yep.
over it in front of the board.
And then the board can
And
either
then-
add,
Right.
before you're even there, though, the board had to have gone over it.
I don't know.
I
mean,
never,
was
I
part
never
of the-
did anything by
Who-
myself
who-
without,
Now, who did he speak with about this?
Well, he spoke to Steve.
Spoke to me,
He
yeah.
spoke to me, he spoke to,
Okay, so how, what was,
He said, I'd just like to, he said, a whole building, he said, all the departments, I'd like to just handle every employee in the town. Something, he just said, something very basic, very short. I'd just like to have a quick synopsis review of how you think they're doing and just try to set some goals.
I'm not an employee.
Correct.
No.
It's just employees.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be
So it would
board
be-
members.
So somebody would have to do me as the agent.
Yeah.
Somebody to do the
No.
animal
I would
inspection.
nobody
think.
ever did the agent.
No one ever did the
The
agent?
agent wasn't done.
No?
So I guess if we were gonna start that, it would probably be chairman or somebody to do.
Yeah, I
that.
mean, it's,
And then,
I would think just consider an employee, the employees on the transfer station.
Yeah.
It
The
still
town
should be-
nurse.
It still should be
Animal
approved by the
inspector.
board as a
Yeah,
whole.
Inspector.
Or it's something that is, it's
Agent.
your opinion and how you get along with somebody.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah, I know.
how everybody as a whole does it. It's just common sense to think that as a Board of Health, when you do the evaluation of the employees, unless you're working with them every day, I used to do evaluations at the school. I had teachers that were under me. And you would do the same thing, but you would go through a whole rigmarole of settling it with the group. I mean,
Well, that makes sense.
of course it makes sense.
It-
yeah, so you discuss them in front of the I mean, but I can have the interview and do the interview and write something up and then come to the board with a whole bunch of them.
So
We
all
can
you're
bring
gonna
everybody
write down
here.
is what somebody says to you.
Is
you're gonna
the
say-
interview, the discussion. Take notes
No,
on the
they
discussion.
normally
But as
would
far
come
as
in and sit
goals,
down
I
with the
think that's-
board as a whole.
Right.
I mean,
we'll talk.
unless you wanna say you're the Board of Health,
Pretty strange.
I don't
No,
think
but
it's
when,
Well,
I mean, when I
very
did the
strange.
review, that's not what we did. I mean,
I don't think the
That's
board's
not
ever
what we
sat
did.
down with all the employees. I don't remember.
Individually,
ever doing
they would come in. In other words, when
They
it
did?
when it came time for doing her review, I don't remember doing
I
that
don't remember, I don't,
because for some reason, I know for the past 2 years when I was chairman, it never came through.
I
think
was
I-
under
I
Justin.
think we need
did.
some-
Because I
Yeah,
don't
had
remember
one with
the
Justin, but I
animal
remember.
inspector ever coming in, or
Oh, I remember the different people.
I think we need some clarification on this.
was it a while ago? Dave?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
mean,
like
as
before I
far
was
as-
on the board?
No.
Unless my memory is really.
What it comes
Shot.
down to is
That's
things
definitely
have
possible.
really have changed to the point where either the
You
floor
said-
vote
you
is
seem
the
to think
final.
it's
It's just
very
like on here,
simple,
you're
right?
not
Very
even,
simple, yeah,
you're not
it
even
doesn't
on
have to be
present.
Paragraph on
You're not even present on the
what you
minutes.
plan to do and
How the
something.
heck,
I don't
How
get
they
it.
everybody
how
should
they're
be
doing,
put
are they
down
hitting all the
who
job
is in here.
description?
Like tonight, right now,
Does anything need to be changed?
his name should be on as present.
What do you think you can
If
do
he
to get
came in
better?
after 6
Nothing.
and
Like a
all
goal
left, he would be
Yeah,
part-time.
just goal setting.
I mean, this is a
Okay.
legal document that basically
Keep it simple.
should be
Yeah, very.
treated as such.
Yes.
Where if anybody has a problem, they can come in and say, okay, I want to look at the minutes
hmm
and have it.
So we probably conduct an interview.
A very good
and
idea of
have
what
them come in to the
happened
next
and what
board
went on in the meeting.
as well.
Yes.
And we'll talk about what we discussed, or do we want to? So those are the two options, right? We either have one of us spearhead this and set times and just conduct quick interviews, take notes, and then have the person come back in front of the board and discuss it or something, or we just do it in front of the
Normally
board.
what happens is
altogether.
the individual who knows or deals with the individual the most basically will write up, I took mine at home and I'd write up every one of them. Then I'd come in and everybody would get a copy of it. And then they would review it and there would be discussions over it. It might be an executive session because of course you're talking about employees. But after that, it would be something where you would either write it to, I don't know if we had to bring them all in, maybe we just gave them, if there's any questions come in, we would give them a copy of it that the board agreed with. If they have any disagreements or changes that they want to make, come in and let us know, and that's when it would be discussed.
So-
And I think that's what he's trying to get away from, all that.
He's trying to get. Yes.
Why would he
Yeah.
care?
Sounds.
Because this is
I
what
don't
he
think
wants.
so.
This is what he wants to do. He doesn't want to do all that, those forms and
Don't have to do
preliminary
you don't have to do the forms. What I'm saying is, the board as a whole should have input on the employees who are working for the Board of Health. That's what I'm saying. In a time that it doesn't, what you're doing then is just saying, the board doesn't matter. Why even have a quorum?
Come on, if you're around, come talk to Matt. Maybe he can tell you exactly what
And
he's.
maybe you should go see him and talk to him. See what he wants, because I don't think,
Maybe I wasn't understanding him well
Well,
enough.
at the point, I really.
I've never done anything like this. Is this totally foreign to me? I mean, I don't have to have these reviews where my place of
If the
employment.
board as a whole, wants to do it.
no,
the
I
way-
just think we need some clarification. I don't think we understand what he wants.
Well, that's what he wants. Now, how you want to go about it as a board?
Right.
He
It
just
shouldn't matter,
he,
right.
he
It really
emphasized it
shouldn't
over and
matter.
over. Very basic, very short. He said, no more than a paragraph. Just like a sentence or two is,
The
as far
only thing
as.
is, this goes in the file. Otherwise, what should happen more, and it's gonna happen, is when things aren't done properly by an individual who's on the board, he's going to be submitting for that person's files, which will go into the person's file
Mhm.
and state whatever the situation is.
Okay.
But it's still, I don't know. It's just because the person who is chairman or runs the town hall doesn't mean that he dictates how the Board of Health operates. I agree, keep it short, keep it simple. I didn't fill out 3/4 hours because I was told you didn't really have to if you didn't have that knowledge. Why state things that you don't have knowledge on? It would be, foolish of anybody. If you
Sure.
don't know anything about the individual, and you're gonna sit down and say, and the guy comes in, I'm A1, I should get a 10% raise of all of the things I've done, and you have the error writing all the positive, but yet you have no knowledge whatsoever. What good is it?
It's true. True. Yeah, I mean, say that the animal inspector came in here and I wouldn't even
Or
recognize him.
Corey, yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, Corey, I mean,
I
Corey
wouldn't
is
recognize him either.
Yeah.
I've never
He
No,
can't-
but he would probably be the one that would
somebody like that.
Correct.
speak to him.
But you would
yeah.
go by if there's anything, see, in other words, a paper trail. That's when it should all come out. If there is a paper trail on an individual, or there's a problem with an individual, with whoever is an overseer or what, then you have where it should be talked about between that individual and that other, and the individual who's saying there's a problem to the board.
Yes.
So in other words, okay, if you're an employee of the town and you're on the board, how can I say?
They're supposed to be our responsibility,
Okay,
right?
yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to put it into words.
Okay.
But you're associated with the board, and you're an employee of the town. So let's be blunt. Kristen writes a paragraph, and we review it. Basically, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, yeah, I don't write it.
How do
Oh,
we
you
know?
don't write
No, you guys write it. Like you, he
Well,
wants
you
something
put
from the.
down your goals. You put down whatever your.
I think it's more like just a.
I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
Get some
I think it's a
concept behind it.
conversation.
Sounded to
I'm
me
just
like
trying to get a-
what Matt wanted was the goals would be kind of put
A
forth by
conversation.
conversation, but the goals be put forth by the employee, and
Yeah, that's what I mean.
we would have to, as a board, would kind of just go over and say that's good. Yes,
Well, that's what I'm.
I want to see improvement on that. You're right.
Right.
And if they leave, if there's nothing there, maybe we can, maybe he's indicating is, why don't we work on this?
That's what I'm saying. You start with something.
Yeah.
And if we feel that it has to be expanded, or we feel like something has to be added to it, we go from there. But you have to start with something. Same with Corey. He's working for the town. He's a town employee. He has goals set. We review the goals. If we feel like, the goals are good, we don't have to expand on it, or we do have to expand on it, then we go from there. I'm just throwing it out
Yeah.
there. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. That's what it sounds like to me. That's all I'm saying. How
Okay.
does everybody feel about that? I don't know.
Well.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I think it's going to be hard to get all the employees to write a paragraph about themselves.
We do it as teachers.
As teachers, we do, yes.
Yeah.
I've read a lot more than that. And
And that's what I mean. We do a lot more than that.
SMART goals and all that
Yes,
other baloney these days.
Yes.
But it's,
We write and write and write. And then we get critiqued over and over and over and over again.
Well, right, normally if you do an evaluation like you do the colleges,
Mm-hmm.
New England schools and colleges, I've done quite a few of those, and for the most part, you will always find positive, and then you'll find areas that need to be
Yes.
worked on a little bit.
Absolutely.
You're not out to hurt anybody, but
No,
you're
no,
out
no,
to
no, it's
try
not
to
about
have
that.
it where people
Yeah.
are going to have, you have to have a sense of, if you feel nobody's
Direction.
over, if you're not just direction, but if you feel that nobody's over you and you can do it, you are your own whatever, my
Yes.
gosh, I think everything has a tendency of going down from
You're
that
right.
point.
You're right.
I'm sure
You
Corey
have
knows.
to.
We've
have.
you probably received your evaluation recently, right?
Mhm.
I mean, there are positives and negatives there, and nobody gets. I mean, you're proficient, need improvement here, and you get that. And we write our goals, and we write, our own evaluations, and then we get critiqued. And boy, do we get critiqued. And I don't care who you are, you get critiqued.
so let's,
But we're not looking to do that.
No.
Not at all.
now when we write evaluations, there's sort of guidelines and questions that I go through and I sort of answer,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So if we're going to ask
I don't think,
guys,
I don't think we're going to do that.
I mean, I think we should come up with some sort of questions.
I think all we're trying to do, though, Corey, is
Just ask them
no,
something.
just if she has, she knows what her job is, but maybe she has some one goal that she wants to reach this year or something, and that's fine, and maybe we feel like You know, that's a good goal. That's something that we should, you know, that would be good if she could achieve that goal. And that's fine. But maybe we might want to say, well, that's good, but maybe we'd like to see her do this also. Something like that. And, you. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
pick
no,
on
no,
you.
no.
I'm just using you as an example here, okay? I'm sorry if
Nope.
but maybe me, if I end up doing something for the town. If I'll put myself in the hot seat. And I say, well, I want to do this, but also I'd like to do something additional to reach my goal. And you say, well, that would be fine, but, you know, to do that, we'd also like you to do this. And, you know, okay, I mean, I can try to achieve that. I may not achieve it, but I can try to achieve it. And this is the way I go about it. That's all.
I'd like to see you also where you could write down some of your strengths and some area where you feel there could be room
Sure.
for improvement.
Sure.
To me, that would be so important for the board to review and look at.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's no guarantee that you're going to reach that, but at least you can strive for it, you know?
Yes.
And they're
think it's-
goals. That's what they are. They're goals.
I would just go by the job description.
Yeah, I would too. So I was just jotting down some things, like some prompts, right? Writing prompts. Aspects of your job you think should be improved. Aspects of your job description you find most difficult to attain. Aspects of your job you believe you could improve on.
Right.
very good.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
maybe we
That sounds
send out
perfect.
something like that to
Very
every
simple.
employee.
Yep.
Just
That would be
3 or 4 points.
and you let them
say
write it.
1 or 2 sentences about each point, please.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
come in front of the board next meeting,
Yep.
and we'll talk about those things. We'll discuss them. We'll sign our
Very
names to
simple,
them, and
very
we'll put them in a
simple.
folder.
Well,
and
the only thing
file
is,
them
though,
over there.
as soon as they come in, they should be sent to Kristen, and then Kristen
Right.
either should put
So
it
we
in
all have-
and send it
Yep.
where we could have it in advance so that we could have our notes and come in and have
That's
anything.
fair and that's
Alright.
equal.
Any more
Sure.
questions we can think of then besides, or prompts, writing prompts, aspects of your job you think should
No,
be
we don't want it to get
improved?
too complicated.
No,
No,
we don't-
very
we
simple.
want
I think
it
that
simple.
that
I like
sounds
Three
pretty
is
good to
perfect,
me.
that's enough?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that very
Okay.
much.
Yep.
There we go. We'll write that up. We'll,
Read that?
I'll write it, I'll type it for you.
Thank
I'll
you.
type it in an email. All right, I'll type it up in an email.
Yeah, just give that to each employee and
Right, we'll write it up, give it to each employee. They can handwrite their thing or type it whatever they want, send it in an email.
something very short
whatever they want.
email.
Yep.
They'll
and-
bring it in to me and I can scan it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. 2 sentences for each one, that'd be a paragraph. 6
Excellent.
sentences, that's plenty.
That takes care of review.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll hit that next meeting, right? That'll give us a month to get all those together. Perfect.
Sounds good. Okay, next item on the agenda is the budget. All right.
This giant thing.
Yes, this spreadsheet here. All right.
Following budget accounts were forwarded for your review and comment.
So this is not the transfer station, this is just everything else but.
Everything but the transfer station.
So Matt sent this to everybody with a cover letter of specific to each department. And then he asked if there's anything you're doing with the budget to just, you know, like, so the blue is what
Has changed,
we
changes,
adjust, yeah, changes or
increases,
adjustments, yeah.
adjustments.
So he's asking for a 5-year projection.
Where are we here?
So if you look at it, so the first one is monitor wells, right there on the top.
Oh, here we are.
Yep, that's,
Okay.
yep, so that's that.
No,
So like in monitor wells, we have the contract, which is gonna end in 2020, so then we just increased 3%, just because we don't know what the next one's gonna be.
Okay.
He just wants a projection of it.
Oh.
Yep.
So
just
And
add
then-
3%
Yep.
for the following
And then
3 years
3%
out.
more for the next 3 years is what you.
Yeah,
But up till 20 though, that incorporates
the-
what the cost.
Was now,
what
what
the
we-
cost
what our
is now. We
contract
know
is
what
now,
it
The
yeah.
current contract.
Yep.
And then, so for landfill maintenance, that's just the mowing, so that's not gonna change unless you wanna increase that.
Unless he has.
Right,
Yeah, it's kept-
We just increased that, I think, didn't, that it
Well, a
was a
few
little
years
lower,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Went
3 or
from 6
4.
to 7.
Was it 3 years ago or so? Something like
Yeah,
that?
around there. I think, no, this is the first year for 14.
Yeah.
For the 1400. I think.
Yeah.
14.
This was the second year, or third year coming up. something
Third year
like
coming
that.
up, maybe.
I think so.
Yes.
Because I
Okay.
think, that, yeah,
It was 12 prior, right? It was $600 a mow and,
right.
okay.
So now it's 700.
Now it's 700 and we
So
just kept that
twice, Yep.
straight through.
Unless he changes.
Yes, all his projection.
And that's just
There's nothing.
carved in stone, I mean, that's just what you're projecting.
Mhm.
Board of Health, he asked all wages be increased for the COLA of 1.5%, which could change. So that's for all.
Now, how about moving across the ladder?
He hasn't mentioned anything about that. Last year there was a freeze.
I know,
so-
but I would like to, as soon as that opens, I would like to see if we
Yeah.
could move some people across.
So I haven't heard anything on that yet, so I'm sure when that comes out, to revisit that.
None of that's addressed here is correct?
That's not
Just the
That's not-
COLA.
It's just the
1 point,
COLA.
yeah.
It's all it's addressed there,
Yeah.
okay.
Is there a cap to how many years they can freeze you on that? Or can they just
I have
keep
no
freezing
idea.
you for as long as they want?
I'm surprised that
The
they can
ladder?
stop you from going across, to be honest with you, because if you do all of the things you're supposed to be able to do,
Right,
plus
cost
we
of
have some
inflation.
people, we're the lowest on the landfill is the lowest on the, basically what people are making. And they should be able to be moved across,
Yeah.
especially when it doesn't cost a ton of dime.
Correct.
Right.
But what did she say? It doesn't matter where you're getting paid from, if either everybody can go or nobody can.
That's her opinion. All you have to do is go in front of the Board of Selectmen, and I know it happened. I saw the people who do the programming. He went in front of the Board of Selectmen and ended up getting his people a 5% raise, I think, a few
Oh.
years back.
Did they?
Really?
Sure. You could, I mean, the Board of Selectmen is if we want to do something,
Yeah,
we just have
true.
to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Go down.
Or
We need to
try
in
it.
front
At
of
least
the-
we should try.
Try it.
Try it, yeah.
And then the only other thing that increased was
Discs.
where it says other services, 53800. That is the rabies, which we've had an average about 3 a year, and the Univar, which is the mosquito briquettes. That I called them. They didn't know if it was going to increase, but they said it may increase 3 to 5%. So I just increased it 3% every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only thing that increased
The nursing.
for health.
Oh, for health. Yes.
Animal inspector, again, it was just the 1.5% increase for salary, or stipend. And then everything else stayed the same. And then the nursing. Do you want to talk about the nursing?
Boy, that's not an easy job for that
Uh,
kind of money.
Yeah, currently, I don't know the reason why, but I know she hasn't been,
Because she had the baby.
she had the baby, so
And she's got no, so she's been working half
half
a
time.
day, right?
Half a day a week, instead of a full day a week, and she budgeted in there for a full day a week.
Right.
All right, so I guess, does the board feel like we just keep her, half a day, or back to a full day, and
It's budgeted for a
it's
full day.
budgeted for a full day in there. We keep it there, and one of the things,
I would leave it like that.
yeah, I think so too.
What is her workload like? Does she have any
She does-
patients? Is she doing any,
She had one
clinics,
patient that
and
just
she-
moved, then she was going to Riddlebrook. It all depends on the timing of everything. She was doing Riddlebrook. She's tracking all the diseases and
It's worth
It's
keeping around.
emergency management. I mean, what is
would-
she? How is
she's
she?
not really doing much with that, like unless we have to do something together, but if she could,
I mean, some of that she's. I don't know if she's been doing anything with that, but that is something I think that she's probably most qualified to handle.
Yeah.
if there's a major disease?
well,
Yeah.
even just to keep up
But
with
just keep up with
everything.
all the.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of,
I'd say it's worth keeping around.
keep her up. and-
Full-time then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I do.
And what I like about her is when she doesn't stay, she doesn't get paid.
Right.
I like where she-
and if she has,
Yeah.
like if she's supposed to work a 7-hour day, if she only works 3.5, she only gets paid 3.5, she only gets paid half. That's
Yeah.
not-
when she works.
Yeah, that's decent, yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of keeping
But
her,
if once
keeping
you
her on
drop
full.
it, you can't get it back.
Right, and to keep it there because I mean,
Yeah.
letting her handle all the emergency management issues that come along.
So, I don't know if that's in her job description or not,
Maybe we should make it a job description. I mean, I think she.
because her name's on the top
Well,
of
that's
a lot
gonna
of
come in
those.
front of the board if you're gonna change the job description.
Right.
We're correct.
Right.
But I mean, I think we mentioned before what, who should be handling what when it comes in. I remember a lot of it was being directed to the nurse, most qualified. I
Well,
don't
what,
remember right.
First-
what pertains to
Right.
the nurse should pertain, but a lot of it pertains to you as chairman. You oversee the whole shebang,
Mm-hmm.
where you should be kind of familiar with the operation of what's going to happen, because what's going to, is you will see, like I had a problem one time where there was an accident on Route 16. When I got there at 3 o'clock in the morning, basically the police were waiting for what to do, the highway department, the fire department, and anything else that was happening. I'm over there saying, whoa. Thank God I brought my paperwork with me, because I went and I sat in the truck for about 5 minutes, reviewed quickly, then I went over and you had to make decisions. It was a refrigerated truck, belonged to Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that should be quarantined? That's the first thing. One of the first things too is, but it's the fire, but yet they wait for what you're going to do. It's not the first time it's happened.
Really?
But you are the one that's overseeing
Mm-hmm.
who's ever there. If something shows up, it's going to be the agent. The agent is going to be in charge of the overall. Unless you say, unless you look at him and you say, I want to be
Okay.
down, I'm dumb, I don't know what I'm
stepping
supposed to do. You know?
Yeah. I'll be right back.
What's on my laptop?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's in the book, like, was that,
Yeah,
it was?
what's that?
Like, what to do in a, like, not
No,
everything
what
can be
he
in
does,
there.
oh, yes, what you have to know is, I forget exactly what it was, because it was a few years back, but I literally had with me where it gave me enough to say, okay, this is what I've got to do, and I mean,
Jeez.
they came up to me, am I allowed, can you please let my crew come and take the box truck and haul it to my garage, because the people who were doing the wrecking, we had two of the big crane wreckers, they had another one, they had fork trucks, they had, I mean, everything under the sun. And everybody was waiting around for donuts.
Yes.
If they were any good, of course they could.
Of course not. But
What could be more
free
important?
donuts.
No, you should be up on, especially if there is a major catastrophe, you are the one that should be knowledgeable. Or are you gonna look at Kristen, or are you gonna
We
look
have a
at?
book.
Where's the book? That's, where's the book?
Kristen has it.
You do have the book?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it was a book.
But it's got everything down, what your steps are, who, everybody falls underneath you. Where do we go? We're gonna go to the high schoolers, where our main, and we've already gone through, I don't know if you had to be there.
It's like an
H1N1.
We went through where,
MSDS.
That was H1N1, right?
No, we had to go through the
That
whole
was-
of what really was happening.
It's like an
something like that.
MSDS
Yeah.
sheet or some book, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's
more
what we
than
just had,
that.
More
remember?
than
it
that.
tells
No,
you,
didn't
it
tell
tells
me.
you
The nurse and I had to
exactly
do down here.
what they're supposed
A
to do,
fake
what the
setup
fire
every time.
department,
Like a
the police
hazmat?
Oh,
department.
yeah, I wasn't part of
The
that.
highway
Yeah, we
department.
couldn't make it for some
Oh,
reason.
okay.
And it was
Because
really
all
quick.
the-
It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
we went to that course, right?
Yep, but also we held it up at the high school where it literally what rooms we would be utilizing,
Oh,
where
I
the
didn't
people
go to
would
that.
come, where
I
the
didn't go
people
to
would
that.
come in other words, if we had to be inoculation
Right.
of mass of the whole, every resident.
I remember that now.
Right here.
Yes.
It was,
That.
it was quite
You
a.
better remember
Because
that now.
remember
Yeah,
when
now I remember that. I almost forgot about
No,
that.
this is
Remember, we
because-
met up to high school
remember we were gonna get
one
a
morning.
$50
You'll be
No,
practicing
yeah, well,
tonight.
yeah, for each
Well,
Saturday
instead of
morning or
doing it, they
something.
chunked it into
You'll be
that.
practicing
Now it's just,
tonight.
instead of him getting it per thing, it's just chunked in for the year.
And the rest of the increase.
So that's increasing
Wow.
from
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
1.5%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow, I didn't know you had to do that.
And then this is just because the half days versus full
Another
days.
kind of-
So,
Okay, so I think we should keep it at where it currently is, a 1 day, full day on the budget.
so not much has really changed.
Not much. Couple of minor things.
So, can you vote on this, or on this part of it?
We need to vote on that? Just a little
Need to make a motion
Yeah.
to approve.
motion to approve this budget amendment?
Are there anything that the board members though really would want to see changes? Well, how come the landfill isn't, there? The transfer station isn't in there?
Wood's not, I don't have that yet.
Okay.
That's gonna
so
be,
that's gonna be coming.
that, he would like,
This is only a portion.
it doesn't have to be, well, it usually isn't anyways, but if you can think of anything in the next 5 years, that needs to go in there. So if you can think of,
Any projects,
Any big
upcoming
projects.
projects?
Right now, we've got a pretty decent, you know,
There's nothing in the upcoming,
major, I'm talking about major.
unless
correct.
something comes up, that's kind
Yeah.
of,
But there's nothing that we're thinking the next few years we'd like to address and upgrade or need to.
The amount of people that are utilizing it are about the same. It's around 1,300, something like
still.
that, families that are using it. It hasn't really changed much for quite a few different
but
years.
I'll get that together and send it out to everybody. I don't have that one together yet. I don't even have it yet.
Yeah, there's nothing else up there that we think of that's in
The only thing
disrepair
that,
or.
yeah, the only thing that we had issues with the embankment there for, maintaining that,
Oh.
cutting of grass and all that kind of thing. Maybe we want to do something there. These guys working, trying to cut grass in that steep embankment.
They do a lot of that's where steep is with a weed whacker.
I know, but it isn't easy when you're trying to cut grass up on that steep embankment. So I don't know. It's just something I threw out there. Maybe something we can look at.
I know they were thinking about
In the future.
Self.
Some propelled mower?
Propelled mower.
Yeah. Just
We
down the
mentioned
road.
that.
I mean, something we might want to look at.
And right now, I guess they got one light working, which is great up there. That's up on top, and they're going to be having somebody
Come and look at
who
the.
come and look at the other, which
Mhm.
was the gentleman that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to give a price, I think, on.
Yeah, which I have not heard back from them yet, but
Oh,
they
you
did go
haven't
look
heard
at
back
it.
At least they've
Yeah.
got the one light, because they've been going up there in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't lit up, where that's where it could be a problem. So at least the one up top is lit right now.
John
which
and
is
Adam
great.
went up there and took a fire truck and changed the bulbs,
That's
and
great.
one was still not working. So
So,
they played with the timer inside.
They checked that.
Wasn't that? So I called Betancourt.
Bencoy, yeah, he's right in Uxbridge.
They came out,
Mm-hmm.
looked at it, and supposed to give us a quote. But they think they can do it. They don't have a bucket truck. I don't know how
Really?
how they do it, but
Oh,
If not them, there's a company in Auburn, the name is, I checked on it, it was Cyr, C-Y-R. They have bucket trucks, and that's what their specialty is.
oh,
Going around to any of the malls or whatnot, changing the bulbs and what have you for
maintenance,
Sometimes we just
repair,
rent
the
them.
lighting.
they just rent
Cyr
trucks
for
rather than-
Sears
Auburn.
Electrical from Auburn, and they have the bucket trucks. To be
all right. I'll call Betancourt tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
that's good.
So we have to make a motion to approve the budget as is for 2018.
So that would be the
current.
This is just the Board of Health budget.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So I just need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Board of Health 2018 budget as proposed.
FY19.
What's it?
FY19.
FY19. I'm sorry.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. Have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's have it. Motion passed. Okay.
Next.
Next item on the agenda, the tonnages. We have a sheet in our folder, current listing of the tonnages.
Kristen, is this the same as what was on, that you sent us over the,
Should be.
Yeah, I think it was. This looks
because I
like,
counted 4 that were either seven something to 8, yeah, that would be okay. That's not
2,
1,
3,
2, 3,
4,
if you go
5.
with the 8s. Yeah, 1,
there are
2,
5,
3,
7, and 8s.
3 7s and,
I felt like there was some really
3
big
7s and
ones
2
last
8s.
time.
Real big one?
2 7s in the A
There
and
was
Yeah.
some really big
Yeah.
ones last
a
time.
7 and 2 8s in the B.
that's the only where it's starting to get down on those somewhat in comparison to how we have, usually don't see that many 7s.
I remember last time we looked at this, it was pretty high.
Yeah, it was higher than it is
Past
currently.
few, quite a few have been quite, I just don't wanna see it go too much lower.
Right.
If we can help it. Not unless there's really a
reason.
cause for it.
There's-
Because you're talking a ton is an awful lot of material.
Yes.
So if you went by 12, you're still missing 3 tons could have gone into these
Right,
units.
and that adds up when you're talking
Yep.
8 of them.
Yep. So it's just,
1, 2, 3,
something
4.
where I'll talk with the guys up at the transfer station to see if they can monitor that a little bit
A
better.
little closer.
Could be a factor with some of the new guys too. Right. It's the learning curve for some of the new guys maybe.
Who makes the call up there when it's time to?
They do.
Ray, are you the one that makes the call when you're on your shift? Is there any, just anybody?
To have the compactors picked up, you make the call on
Yeah.
your side, your turn.
Good turn. Okay.
No, it's quite a complex thing to try to get these
It is.
with the tonnages.
It
It's
is.
not-
It is.
it's
I'm
not
sure it is.
simple. It's easy to just say, come and pick me up,
Mhm.
pick up
Not
this one
only
and
that,
one.
with
time
the
it.
holidays, they're trying to keep it, so
Yes,
they do.
well, that's where I think some of
Yeah,
these were
yeah.
because of the holidays.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably.
Trying to make sure they're empty
Yes,
They're
for-
emptied
for the
enough,
Saturday.
on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember a couple of years ago when we had to close early?
Hmm.
Last Saturday, we had 755 cars in there. And it was just Ray and I. And we didn't have, nothing went wrong.
That's
We had all
unbelievable.
4 bins open
Yeah.
because we had that 2 empty bins to start with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, that's
that's great.
fantastic.
see, that's
That's how you want it.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, it's nice to pack them, but it's also a son of a gun when they're overpacked and
Oh yeah, I'm
the
sure.
cars are lined up and then
Nowhere to put
and nowhere to put them.
trash.
They're doing a
Yes.
good job up there.
Well, we know that for sure.
Yes.
Again, I still would like to see it.
Oh, yeah, I
You
hear
see that,
you, I
you see
hear
that 703 and then you see a 1091.
Right,
Yeah.
Right, I
Yes.
mean, that's almost 4 tons.
yeah, but it was getting closer to the holidays.
And a lot of them
there,
have been
too.
up around 12, 11, 12, even some.
Yeah, but it's seen that last
Yeah.
So,
number of months.
so-
You see some
Right.
11, 12 was
Right.
Yeah,
starting
no,
to get.
I just brought it up as it's nothing against
Yeah, yeah.
anybody. They do a great job up there, but I just would like to.
Yeah.
It might have been December.
That's by
and,
far
you
one of
know,
our
just
biggest
trying to
expenses too. It's,
prepare and getting ready for the. Yeah.
and when I sign those,
There's only in
Vouchers
December you
over.
only got.
those are the big ones.
Yeah.
30,000.
Mm.
Big money.
Okay.
Well, that could have been a little better. Like I said, it could just be because of the holiday.
Yeah.
See how January looks?
Yep, it's a good eye on that. Yeah. Okay,
Is this awesome?
next item on the agenda are bills and warrants.
I'll just look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, 13,000. Thing on there. BP.
Okay, looks good.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Next item, approval of minutes. List of-
Think you're all caught up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to bring up, if I could, about the minutes, we're bringing up the minutes,
Yes, we are.
would be that you should be on here as present too. If this should stay.
I think that was the executive session one. That's how
Okay, right.
Okay, the
He
session.
still should be,
he called the executive session.
that would be.
Oh, because you put it on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Okay,
the
yeah.
examples were that I used.
All right, that's no problem. No, not at all. But for the main minutes, though, you want to have everybody down who is part-time, full-time. And you've got.
I think it's just the way it's written for all of them even. I think
Yeah.
it says that I call the meeting to order.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
which is
that's-
on the
that's where he's-
executive, that's fine, but you still should be, you should be present.
Yeah, I think that's where she's just putting my name right above it as I'm calling the meeting to order.
Right, the only thing is,
So I-
though, you should be present.
Present also.
You should be-
Because those
Those
are,
spots.
everybody that's.
Everybody who's in
who's here.
attendance
Right,
should be listed as, okay.
yeah, in fact, Ray should be down as in attendance here. If he leaves
Oh, those-
early, then it's only part-time.
Right. Okay.
And I also noticed, at least in the executive sessions, it states the names of the individuals who are present and basically what was being talked about at the session. But then on the other one that was executive session, it didn't talk about no names were given whatsoever.
What one?
I think it was the December 18th, I think.
So 18th, I mean, it's present?
Yes, no, it's okay, let's see that, it is.
They both, I think, October
Yeah,
2nd has them as
It
well.
is, so maybe
Yeah, it does have it.
Now, at home, I read them online, and I'm over there, there's no names. It's just like on another time, that I got a month or so ago, when Corey was appointed agent, it stated in the minutes, in the online,
Mhm.
that Joe Yacino appointed Corey as agent. And I'm
Really?
over there saying, no, that's, but when I came to the meeting, I was gonna say something, and it wasn't in there that way. In other words, it didn't state that Joe
The whole
Yacino-
document didn't
That's
get
weird.
transferred.
it was weird, because I'm over
Huh.
there seeing it, and I'm looking at that, I'm saying, what the heck? I said, well, maybe you corrected it, which was, I said, okay, good to myself. Because it should be the board who is going to have the final say of who
Yes.
is hired and who is appointed
Mhm.
for any position, not one individual.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that after. I didn't notice that when I was reading one. That didn't catch my attention anyways.
Oh, looking at the minutes, did the propane tanks ever get picked up?
No,
Still
and they're
not.
getting knocked over by the snowplow.
Mm.
But there's nothing we can do because nobody's coming to get it.
So we just can't accept propane tanks anymore up there, can we? Those things seem to be more of a problem than anything else.
I agree with you to a point. I'd like to at least find another outfit, because this outfit's out of New Hampshire, and there's gotta be somewhere around here
I
where,
think Joe was gonna talk to Socias, wasn't he? I don't know if he ever did.
I mean, how much are they gonna charge? You know? I mean, somebody gonna.
Maybe to just even refer it. Curry
Oh,
Hill.
they must know somebody that takes
Yeah.
over propane.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Unless they just
I don't
have
know if he ever did.
a pile going back there too. I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, all you do is cut the, if you can get the valve off, you can then throw it right in the middle. That's what I do at home, when I'm done with one.
You gotta cut the
I'll take a
valve.
Sawzall and I cut it off, and then it's empty, totally can't be refilled, and it's constantly open, then they'll take it.
Then they'll take it.
Yep. It's just like tires.
They get good.
If you cut a tire up into at least 4 pieces, you can then throw it into the
Really?
other one, yeah, and not cost you, then they'll take it without a problem.
Really?
Yep.
You threw it into what?
Throw it in up top, but you go right in there. I haven't done that, I don't do that, but it
Up
is.
top where?
Up top into 40 yard. Not the
Oh,
metal
really?
one, but the next one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's cut into pieces. In doubt, give a call. Because I had years back, I'm not gonna do it, I'm at the point where I don't do it, I bring it in. and I
No, just
take
small
it.
tires though, I mean, like,
No, it'd be not a.
no, I'm talking about, I wouldn't do it,
Car
I
tire,
wouldn't
you
do it
could-
anyhow with a car tire, but I mean, I'm talking about a small, like, wheelbarrow or something.
Yeah, that's all you'd have to
Yeah,
do.
oh.
Really?
So the propane tank, you just cut off the nozzle?
Just cut off the nozzle. Only thing, be careful, because you might have some fluid in there.
Gotta be gas.
Some gas.
You could get a flame.
Yep,
with a
that's the only
spark.
thing, you're taking a chance.
Yeah,
Open the valve up.
Oh, and then you gotta make sure you take something and go in and hit that main inner seal, because I've done it without doing it, and I hit gas, but thank God I didn't ignite.
You
Just a little
So what I
light.
do is I have a tool that I go in and that's kind of blunt, that'll fit,
Yeah.
and I release all the gas. I mean, I'm taking a chance, it's as simple as,
You
you
make sure
shouldn't
you
do
get
it.
it all out.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a little
really
risky.
the safest
Way to go
way to
about
go
it.
about it.
Yeah.
But I tried to
Just
take
turn
it
it
off
in.
with a wrench.
Pay
Yeah,
the
for $5.
I'll just bring it down to the transfer station. Let them pile up.
It's a shame that the people from New Hampshire have a good thing going. I mean, I don't know why, they don't come and pick up, because
They
it's,
can't get enough of a group down here to make it worth the trip or something? I mean,
no, they
I'm
used to
just-
be very reasonable and good. They've been decent for quite a few years.
And all of
We
a
never had a
sudden-
problem. In fact, we did have some people that collected metal that wanted them. But he didn't have a business that was insured. You want to make sure that if you're going to say, okay, there they are, you want to make sure that
right,
they're
the people are
insured and
insured and
everything.
such. Yeah, you can't just give them to a guy who's scrapping.
And then if an accident
Yeah.
occurs, they say, hey, the Board of Health gave them to me, up at the transfer station or whatever.
Right.
It's
Can't
their
have
fault.
Right, yeah, we can have that.
All right, well, make a motion to approve some of these. We gotta do a motion for each one
Yeah.
You
Yes.
wanna do it,
in order.
not as written, but after I change,
Uh,
approve them with the
with the,
change of,
yeah, with the,
With the addition of,
just
Addition.
adding my name
Addition.
to the
Present.
present list.
all right, I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes for October 2nd, 2017, pending the change, the addition of Steve Donatelli's name to the present list.
I'll
second the motion, yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Next. I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
I'm on a roll.
you're on a
Yeah.
roll.
Make a motion. We approve the minutes for December 18th, 2017.
I'll second the motion.
Did we have to
Oh, I'm sorry.
adjust with my name also?
No, not on that.
On that one?
oh yeah, I guess I do.
Oh, yeah, pending the
Oh,
adjustment of
okay.
Steve Donatelli's
His
name
name
to the
into the-
present list.
Okay, I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I thought it was just the executive session one.
It's all,
And last, make a motion to approve the minutes of December 18th, 2017, executive session minutes, pending the addition of Steve and Donatelli's name to the present list.
And I second that
okay,
also.
a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Minutes approved. All right. Next, we have any old and new business. Open session for topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance of this meeting. Anything?
I have some.
Okay.
As the agent, current Board of Health agent, we've got a few things happening right now. We have one outdoor burner that's installed going on probably closer to 20 years ago than anything else. In 2007, it was,
Just a wood
this is a
burner?
picture of the current one. In 2007, it was brought to the board by a neighbor of being a pollutant, and it was decided. Shoot, that's 2017. Sorry.
Looks like a nasty thing.
Where is it?
There's a
That's
stack.
Mumford,
I know.
Mumford Street.
What street?
Mumford Street.
Oh, Mumford, down here.
Yep.
Yeah. In 2000, actually, Dave, I believe you took these pictures.
How do you see it?
This one, that's my picture, but
Oh.
it came to the board in 2007 too. Dave was on that one. Actually, Dave, you were the name on the and I can't find
Remember
it.
this one.
The name
There
on
was a
the,
note.
Well, there's two. I don't know where. There's two of
oh,
them.
here we go.
Right between
Yeah,
the,
see?
the house. There's one on one side of her, and there's another
Yeah.
one.
So in 2007, it was decided that after conducting an on-site inspection and reviewing all paperwork, you were granted a conditional permit to operate your outdoor wood-burning boiler. As per our regulation, the burning period in October 15th to May 15th, each load must consist of 100% pure dry hardwood. Your stack must remain at 12 feet high with a 8-inch diameter pipe. You are not to burn at any time if the flow of wind would carry the concentrations of smoke toward the house located at 104.
Now, what house is
And
this?
signed. That's the 100. That's 100.
Okay,
That's
all
the
right.
one right behind hers.
Yep.
The
Yep.
what you call it? The one that started the complaint.
Now the thing of it is that you see where the measurements. The state basically cuts out where you need to accept anything over 400 feet from the house, and this is over 400.
So that's
feet from
changed.
the
Now
house.
it's 500 feet. But there was a problem because it was believed that he would be grandfathered into some of those codes because he had, invested and installed this prior to those regulations being put in place. The problem is now the homeowner believes, so this was 2007. Here we are 10 years later. It's still the same wood burner. Apparently, I've talked to a few people, and they're surprised that this is even in operation because I guess there's a water barrier or some sort of a barrier in between them that typically doesn't last this long. There's some
It's a heat exchange.
there's something that doesn't last 20 years in these things, and for some reason they're super surprised, and they don't even make them like this anymore.
Well, no, it's not a legal unit in the state. The state has
Totally
them at a
different
certain
now.
year. They have made them where they're burning a lot hotter, and you don't have the carcinogen
Yeah.
problem or anything
Right.
of that.
And that's what they
sort.
said. He said
It's
this one
burning,
is,
it's burning up the byproducts of the.
Yes.
and this is super inefficient too. So not only is it a pollutant, but it's very inefficient. So my sort of question for the board would, is this something that, 2007 it was thought that he was grandfathered. Actually, no, I'm sorry. If you read, this is from Joe, August 13th, 2001. And this one states, you want to pass that on, that was in the file as well, and that was the letter that was sent out to him, stating that he would be grandfathered in. So I've talked to him, and we've gotten complaints, and I've taken probably 4 or 5 rides up there, because I live fairly close. We've gotten complaints that there's a lot of smoke coming into my yard, it's creating soot on even the inside of my windows, and by 20 minutes was one call. I got there 20 minutes and it was already burning so hot that it was just, you couldn't see anything. It
Yeah.
was totally clean. But the complaints still come in. So I talked to the state, and their thought was, that I just be vigilant, and if we happen to notice something bad, that's, and this is a hard one because
Very hard.
it is grandfathered in, and you can't.
Well, you can't force him. In other words,
Right.
he was asked to possibly upgrade,
And he
because
did.
if he could upgrade, it would be ideal.
So right now the state,
Because it would be a lot, well, it would pass all the emission.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It would be not a problem basically whatsoever. They are legal to put them in, but they have to be with what the state agreed on. Because back in the day when we first did the outdoor wood boilers, the state didn't even have
Any
any
regulations,
regulations.
nothing.
It took quite a while for the state and the individual town boards to grasp.
Start to adopt these. Yeah, 2007 was some of the first. 2008 is when they actually went into effect. But in 2017, we told him that his was acceptable to some extent, provided he still follows these
As long as he
regulations.
followed the regulations,
Right.
he is legit if he followed the regulations.
So, I mean, this complaint continues to come in, continues to say it's.
Now, you're saying continues. You've got to show me where the heck, every time, the date that there was complaints.
They're phone calls, they're not all written complaints.
Well, then,
There was only one written complaint. There's
right,
been
well, that's
phone
what you've
calls
got to
after
go
that.
by.
And after that one written complaint, we did follow up. I talked to him on the phone. We had a pretty big discussion. He came in. We looked at all this paperwork.
Did you go out and see it personally?
I did. That was where that
yourself?
picture came from.
Yeah.
And you see the pile of wood he's got. It's clean wood. I looked at the pile. The stack looks like, I mean, I didn't put a tape measure to it, but it's over 12 feet.
Because where the problem was running was during the spring when, of course, it's quite warm, but yet he wanted to keep his outdoor wood furnace going because he was saving on oil.
Yes.
And that was a problem because, of course, the longer you let these things idle, when it wants the time to open up and wants to fire up to call for heat, that's where you get that smoke. It
Smoldering.
takes a while
Yeah,
for
you're
the,
choking it.
yeah, for that to really work and,
Essentially.
and have it, once it fires up and gets hot, it's fine, but it's
Yeah.
that initial.
Build up.
And that was
We
the
used
first
to
minute.
shut him down early instead of, I think it was either May or what have you, but there were some years where we had to shut him down in April. Because it was warm and he was
Yeah,
he,
sure.
And
too
that-
much smoke that was coming
Yeah,
out.
and that one is so inefficient, and it gives off. I mean, there's opacacy. Like, oh, I can never say that word, opacacy. But there's regulations as to how
Yeah.
opaque the smoke,
How
the
much
plume
is-
can be,
Yeah.
how long it can last. I mean, there's a lot of rules about
Yeah.
that plume.
I got probably that much information on outdoor wood furnace
Yeah,
from boilers.
probably a lot for that case.
Well, no, I'm talking about from the state.
From the
in other
state.
words, all information that's very good to know. It's
And what I was told
What
by
you-
the state was that because of the age of his boiler, because of he's adhered to the regulations we put forth in 2008, that unless we catch him in the act of impacting, unless we catch the boiler actively impacting the health of the neighbor, so you see the plume go into her yard, you stand in her yard, you actively smell it and can, notice that that you are essentially inhaling the smoke from his boiler. There's very little we can do.
because the next house down has a outdoor
boiler.
and they put the boiler in Sutton.
And it's just different. It's different
The
wind.
house is in Douglas, but the boiler is in Sutton.
Yeah, the Gilberts.
That was also a problem.
Gee,
I remember that
And
one.
yeah.
He looked at
And
it.
that's I mean that one is up downwind, right? She's downwind of this one, and that one is downwind of her. So
Well,
that
no,
one.
the wind is mainly goes that way, but the
Right.
wind changes.
Who knows?
Of course.
Yeah,
But the
so-
prevailing wind, she's downwind of that one as the prevailing wind. But that's this one. Okay, I need all my paperwork back for this because this is ongoing.
Yes, it is.
Is that one?
Yes, it is.
Is that part of this?
Oh, yeah, yes, it is.
2.7? Yeah, we need that. We can't lose that stuff.
Oh, boy.
All right, so that's that one. I just want to keep you guys abreast of the situation there.
Okay.
Again, there's nothing we can do unless I'm standing in the yard and I notice there's a real problem, and then I can probably shut them down. Besides that,
You
Can't tell
live, you
people
live
to do
down that area, don't you?
oh yeah, my neighbor has one. I mean, and every once in a while I'm eating his, and I am probably 60 feet below. I mean, he's way up on the hill from me, and he has his up on the hill, and his
Oh,
is
yeah, I mean-
stacked 8-10 feet tall. And every once in a while I'm eating that.
Once
You know,
in
it's
a while
just
the wind drives down.
yeah, the wind
Oh,
comes
sure,
down the hill,
sure,
and sometimes I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I get mine, and I have a chimney, 4 feet
Oh,
above
yeah,
my
you
roof,
get downdraft and,
Yeah.
and
sure,
sometimes I get it. But
sure.
I
You know,
found
it is
what
what
was
it is.
hard is everybody has their rights.
Mhm.
She has her right to clean air, and I agree with they should be able to
yeah, she
have
should be
that.
able to enjoy her
But
yard
in the
if she
same
wants.
token, he has his rights too, where you can't. You've got to either catch him or.
Right.
That we used to have it too, where the police would go through, and if they saw any smoke, please take a picture of it and notify the agent, and hopefully he'll get out there and see it. But
That's what's been- like I
the
said,
police report, you'd be able to. You could
Sure, I
ask
told her,
them
feel
do
free to
that.
call the cell phone, and
Sure.
if I get it on the agent phone, I'll take a quick spin over and see if I can't catch it, and I have not. you know, like I said, 4 or 5 times I've gone out there and I haven't seen anything wrong yet. So, I mean, I've, you know,
Very difficult.
yeah. So we have another sort of a hoarding situation on Arnold Street down there. That's ongoing currently. We're working with the building department as well on that one. Joe started that. You were probably involved in that years ago on down near the, you know, terraces down that way. And then we have this. I don't know if you guys saw the Telegram and Gazette or the news. We have that situation on Arch Street.
You say that's been going on for a while?
Oh, that's been.
The Arch Street, that place, I mean, I've driven by that place for 10
Birch
years.
Street, third house up, that's another one that should be fixed and closed down and fixed up, made to be fixed up. I mean,
Fortunately, I've not received
Yeah.
any complaints about that one. This one we received a complaint, looked like, according to the article, I don't want to say too much because there's a child involved
Right,
and
right.
DCF's involved, but according to the article, I mean, this is the article's public, so, according to the article, DCF got involved, inspected the home, a child was removed, there's alcohol, drugs involved, the house was a mess, fecal material everywhere, the stove wasn't working, they said they had
Was
one of
it
those
human or was it an animal?
animal feces. They thought dog and cat feces all over the home.
A difference, in my opinion, would be a difference.
And it's piles of junk all over, trash bags, metal objects, bags of trash. That was the quote. We're on now the second certified letter to the resident. We have had no word back. I just recently, within the last couple of days, got an email from DCF giving me some phone numbers, some active phone numbers that they know are active, because we got about 4 or 5 phone numbers from the police station for them. I called them all, left messages, and nobody got back to me. We sent the first certified letter, was never picked up. So we sent a second certified letter, and I've got phone numbers now. I'm going to call them tomorrow. I'll probably come in and do phone calls and try touching base with them on the phone. Obviously, you know, the article wasn't what prompted the inspection, but the DCF did come down. Keith was his name, and filled out a report, complaint report about the residents, which prompted all the inspections to take place. But we can't get a hold of anybody to schedule an inspection. And that's where that one sits.
How did DCF get involved?
There was a missing child, and they traced the child back to the home, back to that home. So it was
Who reported the
a
child missing?
third party, that child's parents. It was a third party. I guess was at the resident's home. I assume hanging out with their child.
I see.
That's what the perception would be.
I see.
And apparently, you know, the parents were there too. And obviously, when they walked in and found the conditions and the drug and alcohols scattered about the home, prompted all these events after, you know, to take place. So that's going on there too. You know, in light of the Telegram and Gazette, I wanted to make sure everybody was aware that we are involved in that. We're trying. You know, you can't just go knock on doors and demand to be
Absolutely not.
walk into somebody's home. So, so currently we've got certified letters out. If the certified letters come back unanswered and nobody returns my phone calls, then we'll go to the Uxbridge Court and go that way and try to get, I guess, a warrant to conduct an investigation or inspection of the home. I've never done that, so you know, it's a learning curve to see. But you got to follow the right legal way. So.
Oh, yes.
You know, gotta cross your T's and dot your I's. That's what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Corey. Any other old or new business?
Guess not.
Got nothing.
Okay, I guess we need to the calendar.
So,
Yes, we need to meet, I guess, the FinCom. We're scheduled to meet, what day was that gonna be?
13th.
February
It's on a
13th. Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We're scheduled to meet with the FinCom, so that's a Tuesday. What is that? 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
We want to have the meeting
That would be good.
right before that, and then just
Yeah.
follow and go right over to the
That would be good.
FinCom. Okay, that would be February 13th. It's a Tuesday.
I've got a busy, that's gonna be a busy week for me.
Can you make it?
What's the 13th? Yeah, I would think
February
so.
13th, Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday the 13th.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
I'll have a meeting at 6, and then at 7 we
Yeah, it should be
go over to meet with FinCom.
Yep. As long as it's not the first Tuesday of the month. I'm good.
I have a class on
Second.
that Monday. That's a busy week.
So I'll work on the transfer
Okay.
station and send it to everybody.
Yeah, I'll send you a email
Who here has been sick?
tomorrow with this.
Shh.
You
Don't
have?
jinx us. I
Yep.
thought you sounded sick today.
I'm at the end. I'm just past
I've
it,
been-
but
I've
yeah.
been sick.
Sore
I had a
throat
cold
or-
for about 2
I had
weeks.
Oh, the flu about a week ago.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, that's brutal, huh?
I've been sick since Thanksgiving. I
Yeah,
finally
it's,
cleared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Came down a week ago
How about you,
Friday.
Corey?
Wow.
I had a cold hung around for a long. It was bad for like
Yeah,
2
you
weeks.
did have a cold.
But it hung around for about a month. It was
Right, how about
kinda-
you, Kristen?
Yeah, I have a good cold.
Had it bad for
but
4 days.
Nothing like what the,
4 days I was
saying
on my
the-
back, but
The main thing, I've got a
Oh.
runny nose, a little bit
Really?
here and there, but
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was 2
Did you
weeks
take
was
any-
rough, but it was.
Did
besides
you go
that, it
get
was
like
just
tested for the flu?
one in the morning.
Everybody.
I didn't get tested for the flu.
I went to a
all
lot
the
of clinics
symptoms.
just-
So you didn't take that?
That was about it. That was about the worst.
Yeah, I took that. I think NyQuil.
The box of
Therapy,
Kleenex is like
Oh, yeah,
everyone.
Mucinex, I
Kleenex,
just-
yeah.
So
NyQuil works good, I like
It
NyQuil.
does nice.
stomach flu's been going around right now. too.
NyQuil,
My son
NyQuil
had it,
Severe.
my
Take
father.
that. And,
Oh, yes.
Go to
It's all
rest, get
going
you
around.
good
One
rest.
day.
yeah, it's
Time of
awesome.
year.
All right, so we're set for Tuesday, February 13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion that we adjourn?
You have a motion
that.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.